Which is juniors की मौत, senior का मजा.
12-hour rule, I think it's bullshit. You can't expect people to work for 12 hours.
No, I love client servicing.
I love servicing too.
I also love servicing.
So, Simble, are you nervous?
Yeah, I am very nervous. Welcome to It's Quite Simple, and thank you so much for being a part of this. This is the first episode of this season. The podcast is all about, having conversations, open conversations about different things when it comes to corporate life. You know, the good things, the bad things, things people love to talk about, things people don't love to talk about. The idea is that we create a space where we can openly have conversations and not just one perspective. I've been, writing about the corporate life on LinkedIn since a long time now. But I realized that it's very important to understand different perspectives. Each of you, has been picked, knowing that all of you have, come from a, have had your, running the agency life. And I wanted to start with advertising because that's closest to home. Hustle as a word has become so common these days. People keep saying, "मैं तो hustler हूँ," मैं hustle करता हूँ. But the definition of the word has, has been about pushing it, through, it being a rough push to kind of achieve or be where, you want to be, going that extra mile to, succeed in life. But while the outcome can be similar for all of us, does the approach have to be same? That's what the podcast is going to be about. There are not any wrong answers here, right? We're just going to have like a nice conversation. So do you guys want to, somebody wants to go first in introducing themselves?
Okay, so on that note, hi guys, and thank you for inviting me for this debut show, podcast as you call it. And as you've been introduced, my name is Emmanuel Upputuru, and as Rahul said, I was the Chief Creative Officer at Shell when he was there. But when I was there, I was also the Chief Creative Officer at Shell because I'm not there anymore. So looking forward to this conversation from people who are much younger than me.
So I'm Pragati. I head a creative strategy at Isobar. I've been in Dentsu for a long time, and I've been part of many Dentsu agencies. So it's been a while now. And as a person, like outside work, because work, तो हम दिन भर करते रहते हैं. Advertising tends to stretch itself beyond weekdays and into weekends and into our personal life. So as a person, I'm a very simple person. I'm from Banaras. Banaras के घाट पे बड़ी हुई हूँ.
I am Rahul Rautela, and I've been in the advertising industry for like 12 years now. 2 years back, I started my freelance journey, the yogi life of advertising, and it's been good. It's been fun. So the word hustle is very close to me at this point of time because every now and then there's so much uncertainty. Aaj yahan ho, kal wahan ho, but it's good fun. And I get to live in Nainital, and I've just started my own advertising agency, small advertising agency in Haldwani, which is called Anupam Solutions. So we cater to all of the brands in Kumaon, and we are dedicated to, helping local youth here, employing them, giving them opportunities to work, and life is good. No more corporate, no more travel.
Hi guys, I'm Kobita. I'm a writer, and I would say in a way a failed poet, considering I couldn't really do much about it in terms of making a living out of it. But the good thing is I'm in a profession where I get to write a lot of manifestos, so I kind of make up for it like that.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, by profession, right now I'm associated with Virtue. Virtue Worldwide is the agency side of Vice. It's an agency born out of Vice Media Group and powered by Vice. And yeah, I'm working as an associate creative director right now, working on a lot of alcohol brands for the last 2 years. But yeah, a lot of...
That's your influence for the brand. Yeah. Well, I have been working in the ad industry for almost, I think, 8 years now. I was I worked with Isobar as a group head. I did also do like a small stint with like a startup that must not be named, but it was so shocking for me, the cultural shock moving from agency life to like a client side, and coping with it, that I was so bad at it that I decided to become there a freelancer. It was like, I tried it for 2 months. I was like, okay, this is something. I missed the creativity that at the ad life sort of comes with it, the open conversations, and a lot of other things. And I'm a full-time freelance writer now. All of you have had your own journey. So what I want to kind of start off the first segment with is, it's called Pyar Ya Bekar, right? And this segment is all about what does the word like hustle mean to you? Like, what do you, on a very personal level, what is hustling as a concept for you, and what do you derive of it? Good, bad, all of it. The fact part that you want to talk about.
I think one is the hustle culture, and the other one is the hustle, the word itself. And we're all writers, poets, non-poets, manifesto writers now, and all that. I think the word is probably more. The problem is more with the word itself than what it is, or as we think about it, a lot of people have appropriated it to a kind of a culture. I don't even want to use the word culture, but the kind of working that corporates or work happens at corporates. I'm very careful now in choosing words, right? And then it becomes, oh, this is like a bad thing to do, right? And this is a bad word, bad world, and all that. Okay. So, and I think if you see the dictionary meaning of that, and I think again as writers, and I think you started off that also by saying we push through. When you push through things, is when sort of you hustle. You are forcing yourself aggressively to get things done, right? So I think the problem in using this word to appropriate to the kind of work that we do means that we are pushing ourselves aggressively to get an output, right? And that process, you don't like it, and that's why the word is being used. That I don't like the process of this getting the work done or getting it approved by my boss or my client and me ultimately by consumer, and therefore I find some ways to get it through. Okay, I think the other part is obviously about work late nights and weekends and all that kind of stuff. But I think if I just stick to the actual definition of that and working into this thing, is the process of the work getting outdone. And I think that is where the problem, at least in my view is that, to me, the process is more enjoyable than the output many times. The creative process is I actually never like to finish things. I'm sometimes even worse than a client. I would never let go till the last, till the release date is there, or you need to give YouTube or to television channels or to the newspapers, still keep playing it. So I enjoy the process. So I think, therefore, to me, I think it's wrong that we're using this word to appropriate to a kind of a process culture.
If I were to be really honest with my attitude towards it, I think I have a kind of a bipolar relationship with this word. On good days or on days where I have bad, like, see, I think in our life and advertising, a lot of times we have good days and then there are bad days, right? So on good days, I think hustle. To push ourselves, and it's not like, sometimes it comes from outside, that it's somebody's giving you feedback or somebody's not liking it, so you have to push yourself, right? But a lot of times you also feel that, nahi yaar, I can do better than this, right? I mean, even if it's like 9 p.m. in the night or 10 p.m. or 12 p.m., right? Creativity का कोई timing तो होता नहीं है. So I think sometimes when it comes from within, that it's a strong filter, and on a good day it keeps me very motivated, right? कुछ आप फंसे थे, आपने कुछ solve कर लिया, so there is a lot of tremendous amount of pleasure in that also. But the flip side is that it's like like especially in say in the new world जहाँ पे digital बहुत है, and digital has kind of changed a lot of जो अच्छी चीजें थी advertising की वो थोड़ी सी और बुरी, थोड़ी जो बुरी चीजें थी वो थोड़ी और बुरी हो गई हैं because it's a everyday pressure because of digital, right? So in light of that अब hustle के चक्कर में क्या होता है कि there is a I feel like there is a it's matlab you push yourself every day and you get trapped in the cycle of ki acha I push myself and then you burn out and then you're like अरे यार मेरे life में क्यों इतना imbalance है, what have I done, why ये last time भी मेरे साथ हुआ था, I didn't so मतलब अभी I'm stuck again उस circle पे आ गए and then you feel burnout and then you feel unmotivated and फिर आप you take a break और या कुछ और project आ जाता है and your energy is back again. So I think unconsciously or subconsciously I think we have conditioned ourselves to overworking. I mean it should थोड़ा ओवरवर्किंग की तरफ चले जाते हैं हम लोग, थोड़ा like imbalance की तरफ चले जाते हैं. I think once in a while it's fine. I think we should somewhere at some point draw a line. I mean it's very hard to do because अपना पूरा it needs to change the whole it needs to start somewhere. मतलब it actually starts with it's not just about one team, right? It's about a culture. Somebody has to align the client, somebody has to align somebody else. So there are a lot of stakeholders involved and you can't just unilaterally take a call because it's the way things work. So somewhere I think we can be better, but if you were to take the good out of it, it is definitely motivating. It is definitely energizing, but it needs boundaries. At least in the new culture, because people can exploit it. People around you. So I think, at least that's what my experience has been.
The meaning of the word hustle changes when you're doing it by your own wish than when you're expected to, right? If sir, like, so you spoke of that, you want to keep going till the end of it. Like you're not happy with, just one iteration. So you feel, but I feel that for a lot of people that if it's coming from someone else constantly, no, like try again. So maybe you feel that, am I being pushed to the wall, So maybe that is when the sort of the meaning itself changes. It takes a negative connotation.
Then I think in our industry, then it's important. Then you choose where you work, who you work with. So then the feedback that we don't like, yes, nobody likes feedback. But if the feedback comes from people that you respect and appreciate, and then it is not pain, right? Then it is. If you're not enjoying. I think Luke Sullivan book, if you haven't read it, or if your viewers or readers haven't read it, they should read it. You should change the agency, change your boss, change your people, change your partners. Enjoy the work.
See, there is a idea that we have of advertising कि इतना idealistic है, हमने जो create किया है वो सबको पसंद आना चाहिए. एक idealistic version है, but एक दूसरी side होती है which is a business reality कि they like a lot of times clients tell you things because they genuinely believe it's not going to work. क्या उनको they have some foundations which so एक reality of business होता है. So I think somewhere that dejection that we face now, I think that is also important because it reconciles you. Actually, it makes you grow as a person, right? As a professional, because आपको पता है कि maybe you will feel very bad and the first time you're given feedback, but the more senior you get, you also know how to deal with it, right? You know that this part is ठीक है, it's acceptable, it's realistic. Let's be realistic, and then you also know कि अच्छा जो overboard जो जा रहा है, you मतलब somewhere you develop that kind of filtering. So
So for me, hustle is something I take it very positively when it comes to advertising, because advertising equals hustle. Some of the best work which we see going out, winning awards and everything, it happens because of hustle, because there is a pressure. And I think creativity comes out when it's put inside a pressure cooker and it's constantly steamed up, because it takes time. When you're developing an idea, सब कहते हैं पहला आइडिया चेक कर दो, बट पहला आइडिया भी अगर अच्छा उसे भी डेवलप करने में टाइम लगता है. And you have to constantly be involved. You have to constantly work hard. You have to hustle every single day to become a better creative. Because if you stop at a certain point and you say कि बहुत हो गया यार, I'm burning out, there's someone else who's going to take over. There is competition. There is someone else who will come and take your space. But I believe hustle can be fun, because I remember when I joined advertising initially, मेरा पहला दिन था. I went for an interview to ADK Fortune, and there was Rahul Rautela who took my interview, and उन्होंने लिया and I came from a film and TV background. I had done my film and TV from XIC. तो मैं आया वहां पर एंड ही वाज लाइक कि ठीक है भैया दिखाओ काम पोर्टफोलियो. मैंने कहा पोर्टफोलियो, मैंने कहा ये भी होता है कुछ, बिकॉज इट वाज शॉकिंग फॉर मी, क्या करूं इसमें. तो मैंने कहा सर पोर्टफोलियो तो नहीं है लेकिन टेस्ट दे दो, कुछ टेस्ट कर लूंगा. तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, तू मेरे को आर्ट स्क्रिप्ट लिख कर देगा. देयर वाज अ पर्टिकुलर ब्रीफ फॉर यामाहा एंड ही वाज लाइक तू मेरे को आर्ट स्क्रिप्ट लिख कर देगा लेकिन तू रात भर बैठ के करेगा. मैं ठीक है. तो मैं लिखने बैठा, बट देन आई सॉ देयर वाज फन. वहां खाना ऑर्डर हुआ, फिर वहां बियर भी पिलाई गई, और वहां हंसी मजाक हुई, किस्से सुनाए गए, किस्से विस्से सुनने, कुछ इनसाइड पिक हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, आ रहा है दिमाग में. मैं रात भर बैठा, मतलब आई स्लेप्ट, वहीं ऑफिस में ही सोए उस दिन, एंड आई स्लेप्ट एट अराउंड 2:30 3:30. वो घर चले गए थे. ही केम इन द मॉर्निंग एंड ही वाज लाइक हाँ भाई कितनी स्क्रिप्ट लिखी. आई रोट 40 स्क्रिप्ट्स and he rejected every one of them. but he hired me. Yeah. So it was fun. मतलब वहां से देखकर लगता है ना कि if there is hustle there should be some fun. हम एडवर्टाइजिंग में क्यों हैं? मजे के लिए है ना, तो थोड़ा मजा भी होना चाहिए. If you're working late night, if the boss comes out and he's like कि चलो आओ डिनर करते हैं साथ में, और वहां बैठकर तुमने थोड़ी देर हंसी मजाक कर दी एंड एवरीथिंग मतलब जितना भी प्रेशर था, जो कुछ भी है, it just goes off. And it's up to the boss. It's up to the boss to make them realize कि हाँ भैया आज नाइट लगेगी, लेकिन वो नाइट मजेदार होगी, और जो कल सुबह तुम काम देखोगे तुम्हें खुद खुशी होगी. You will feel proud of the work which you've created. And I used to love pitches in mainline agencies. But then ultimately जब सुबह होती है और जब वो पूरा काम कंपाइल होता है और जब वो डेक में लगता है और जब तुम देखते हो उसे, you're happy. क्लाइंट जैसा भी रिएक्ट करे, but you're happy. So that is hustle. That is fun.
For me, I think, hustle has always been more personal in the sense that, because I joined advertising, much later in the day. Like by the time I joined, people who were much younger than me were already at a group head level and, in the senior level, whatever. So I always had that drive to kind of reach the next level faster, which means that I always had to kind of punch above my weight wherever I was, whatever I was doing. And that meant that, okay, if whoever I'm reporting to, and if that person is, say, a group head or an ACD, if this person can do this, can I also do this? Can I also deliver at the same level? And of course, when you set a goal like that for yourself, of course, that takes time, right? Which means probably what that person can do at, say, 1 or 2 attempts, I would probably have to write that same thing 5 times, get it wrong, understand where I'm going wrong, and then, eventually get it right? So yeah, that kind of meant that I had to put in more hours, like, strive a little harder, longer, and still make it happen for myself. But yeah, that was one part of it for me, for sure, that wherever I was, whatever I was doing, I was always kind of trying to see how can I get to the next level faster. And that does not necessarily mean the next designation, but like next level sense of next, like I can actually own my work. I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm doing. So yeah, that was like one part of the hustle. Then of course, like I've also worked in different agencies over the last 6-7 years, and there are different cultures that kind of promote different kinds of hustle where, either it's you already work in a place where it's kind of given that, yeah, we have to deliver everything within, say, 24 hours, and hence you're working to that deadline, or you're working under that pressure of delivering, which again sometimes gets like too much to handle. And Simble, you and I have kind of been through that together, so we know it kind of gets very demotivating at times when you know that you could have done something better if only you had a little more time. But sometimes you have to push out your very first draft ideas and the first thoughts, because you know that you don't have the time, and you still have to kind of something on the table the next day, right? That sometimes gets a bit demotivating. But yeah, I guess it depends from one agency to another. And Rahul, to your point, I think like for a lot of you guys, it has been a journey of going from a bigger pond, creative agencies, to digital agencies, and then realizing the restrictions. I have had a very different journey, right? I started out at digital agencies and then eventually landed in a creative agency like Virtue, where for the first few months, what blew my mind was, oh, my idea can be that, I will create a music festival, or my idea can be that I make a whole new product. And those are the kind of things we couldn't think of when we were in a digital agency, right? You had to think within the restrictions of what a platform allows you to do, or at best, like, think of quick and clever ways of hacking the platform and doing something cool well within it. But suddenly, when you do not have the restrictions of a platform, I think that opens up your mind a lot. And then, even if that means that, okay, now I have to, like, probably sit for like 2-3 days constantly and come up with things, when you have that wider playing field, it's a lot more fun. Then it's like, okay, what's the best that I can do, what's the best that I can think of, what's the best that I can kind of take to the client.
Which Kobita very rightly put, that I've also always been in digital. I've never been in a mainline agency. But I also realized that the difference in that experience is that because you have to constantly think of so many ideas, like I don't have time to work on, what like Kobita said, the first draft has to be the final draft. And secondly, you don't get to experience because you're burning out constantly thinking of one idea after the idea after the idea. Like BAU, which they call business as usual, that's just, and the client is constantly expecting you to turn viral, right? That's the thing. So what happens is that you don't enjoy that, okay, this is what I want, and what is the best way for me to reach to this idea. Maybe that is why the experience differs in a mainline agency versus a digital agency, and that impacts the way you look at the experience itself. And that's why, like, so many people say that, oh my god, I'm so tired because of my late night, because I was just not working on something that was big enough. Like when Kobita says a music festival, versus when I say that I have to write like whatever ad copy that may or may not be seen by a lot of people.
125 characters mein.
Yeah, 125
with spaces.
Yeah, so I think maybe the impact, maybe the weight of that impact changes, and that maybe impacts the experience that you have. And there's one buzzard fire, that there's this one segment which is, I'm going to just throw random words and, like, call you out. Say Rahul, what do you think of this word? And you guys have to give an answer to that. Okay, I'm going to start with Rahul. EOD. What does EOD as a word mean to you?
Creative telling client servicing. जो काम अभी आधे घंटे में हो सकता था, पहले से ही बोल दिया EOD मिलेगा.
Okay.
पहले बता दो.
Okay. Kobita, quirky.
That one thing that clients ask for, but when you deliver, they don't understand.
Okay, great. Emmanuel sir, awards.
Irrelevant right now.
Okay, then great. Pragati, deadline.
Deadline is actually happiness. Uske baad, what comes after is all happiness. Uske pehle, all tras.
Then Rahul, appraisal.
Appraisal, peanuts.
Okay. Kobita, brief.
Brief ही हो तो अच्छा रहेगा. Usually sometimes we just go on and don't really, like, take it.
Brief is hardly brief, right? Okay. So guys, you all can chime in on any word. ठीक है, मैं just नाम इसलिए ले रही हूँ so that it's easier for us to. Otherwise, you can just minutes of the meeting. MOM.
Non-existent. कभी नहीं आता है.
Non-existent.
आ रहा है. We are sending it.
I just realized that subconsciously all the words I have done are that the answers will be bashing servicing. I've just realized that all the words that have come up.
ये अंदर से निकल रहा है.
अंदर से निकल रहा है.
Consciously.
अच्छा, what do you guys think of this topical days?
Social samosa में feature होगा नहीं होगा.
Okay, that is the end goal. Oh, what do you guys think of the word hashtag?
Campaign line hashtag में fit होनी चाहिए.
बिल्कुल सही है, कभी होती नहीं है.
क्लाइंट्स का हैश है हैशटैग.
That's what
एक hashtag है ना.
they really do get high on that. Hashtag बताओ, idea ठीक है, सब ठीक है.
Hashtag बताओ.
Hashtag.
The moment you put something in hashtag, it will start trending. I think they have a hope somewhere.
पहले होता था भैया वायरल करा दो, होता है भैया
वो
ट्रेंड करा.
Next word वही है, viral. What do you guys think of the word viral?
बोल तो दिया मैंने, भैया वायरल होगा नहीं होगा.
Viral होगा नहीं होगा, viral कभी नहीं होती. You don't know what goes viral. Like Pooja, what was that girl's name? Kulfi, selfie मैंने ले ली आज.
हाँ, ढिंचक पूजा.
ढिंचक, that's viral, right? What do you guys think of? You know, there's this common word that we used to hear. At least I used to start advertising like out of the box.
Yes, usually just to kind of, you know, like show the client कि देखो हम ये भी कर सकते हैं, फिर वापस हम उसी पे आ जाते हैं जो उनको करना है.
Out of the box ना, ऐसा लगता है वो एजेंसी की ना अग्नि परीक्षा है कि तुम पार कर लो, तुम्हारे पास है कि नहीं, तुम दिखा दो है, ठीक है, but we'll go back to the box.
That's your interview even after being. That's your interview even after being in the agency for 1 year. मतलब you have constant proof.
Out of the box होता है अवार्ड आइडिया जो एंड में एक पोस्ट बन जाता है.
Yeah.
That sounds touche. That sounds very personal, like a personal experience.
इसीलिए विरेन पांडे ने एजेंसी का नाम आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स रखा था.
Right. That was called out of the box. अच्छा, pitch.
Freedom. I think it's freedom. I love pitches. मतलब I also like Rahul love pitches because उसमें कुछ भी करो, उसमें you can go out of the box because you can always say कि अरे पता नहीं था यार, we don't know your brand so much, so.
Pitch is juniors की मौत, senior का मजा.
Oh my God, ये डालूं कि मैं junior की मौत, senior का मजा. That just sounds like hustle culture में बात कर रहे हैं, and then people like we know what this podcast is about, okay? Okay, so there is. So guys, this is again like a fun part of it. It's called a hustle score. Okay, you have to just say like the most bizarre, weird things that you do when you call it hustle.
Hustle score. क्लाइंट सर्विसिंग जब डीब्रीफ देने आता तो उसको अपने बगल में बिठाया और उसी के सामने लैपटॉप खोला और उसे कहीं नहीं जाने दिया और अब मेरे को चेंजेस बता.
तो आपका way to success is to like मतलब your hustle, part of your hustle is to like torture the client servicing guy till you like.
No, I love servicing.
Of course, you love servicing.
I love client servicing.
एक चीज मैं करती हूँ क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा काम करके you feel exhausted, right? And there are some days जब back to back meetings होती है, तो वो जो सब irrelevant वाली मीटिंग होती है ना, उसमें ज्वाइन करके कैमरा ऑफ, हेलो कैमरा ऑफ, सो जाओ.
ये सही है. और फिर जूनियर्स को बोलो कैमरा क्यों नहीं ऑन करके रख रखा है तुम लोगों ने. ऑफ.
नहीं, जूनियर्स को अगले दिन बोलो यार देयर सो मच वर्क आई कांट रिमेंबर, कैन यू जस्ट एक बार जस्ट रिकैप करते हैं उसके बाद चलते हैं.
You know, I find meetings very productive.
Okay.
You know, the long 26 people in a room meeting, because I do work for the other brief that is waiting, which is not part of this room.
Okay, so guys, we'll just run to the final section. You know, we've spoken at length about different things. This is just, it's called viral ho gaya. Okay, this is just about some news. So now, you know, what's the trend? There is one news that comes out and people will start having their, you know, this, that on that. Oh, this work doesn't work. Mostly because of the prevalence of cancel culture. It's dissed upon, like, you know, ki abe ye to, you know. I had something that, you know, we all know that the new labor laws have like 4 days working. And you know, but you can work for 4 days, but each employee has to work for 12 hours every day. That's the deal you make. So either you work 5 days a week or you work 4 days a week, but each day has to be 12 hours, right? Now there are very different opinions on this कि अच्छा मतलब यार मैं काम तो उतना ही कर रहा हूँ, एक दिन का क्या फायदा. But a lot of companies have come forward and said that, you know, people when they're in the flow, right, for 12 hours, so they don't mind doing that. And they get like a 3-day long weekend. So for them, it's better for in terms of burnout, so to speak. So do you guys think that, you know, that's, you know, like, do you think it works? It doesn't work?
So I think there are two aspects of it. One, I think if you enjoy your work, which is what I started with, and I think when you watch the French Open or the Wimbledon, you see these champions Nadal and Djokovic, ऐसे थोड़ा चैंपियन बन जाते हैं वो लोग. मैच के पहले रात को सोए नहीं होंगे वो लोग, पूरा प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, खाना नहीं खाया होगा, मतलब I mean like diet किया होगा and all that. So is that the hustle that we're talking about, because if you have a goal in hand that I want to be the best in a particular category, you want to get your best idea out, and you are not happy with one, but you're coming up with 40 as Rahul came up with, and all Rahul share those 40 ideas, and maybe कुछ निकल सकता है.
वो ढूंढनी पड़ेगी सर, डायरी पता नहीं कहाँ रखी होगी.
So I'm saying that if you enjoy work, then you enjoy the grill, enjoy not the grill or the drill, right? And then there is no pain, But the other side of the same thing is the leadership in these companies, or even our friends in servicing or management, needs to find a way to make it easier, happier. Even feedback can be given, slightly more responsibly, rather than sometimes. Now I'm saying more seriously that there is no even feedback. Aapne bola, client ne bola, you were in the room, so you heard it, so therefore deal with it. On one hand, I'm saying the junior people needs to find the right place, the right bosses to work with, so they enjoy the feedback. Right. On the other hand, the management, the senior people, the servicing people need to find a way to make the work process as enjoyable as possible, even if in a digital environment, in a T20 kind of a match. Otherwise, like Ben Stokes, who has just retired from One Day International or T20, one of them, is because I reduce my wants and and then I settle for lesser work, and I go to Haldwani and then live in a castle with a nice view and fog and rains and all that. So you reduce your wants and make a deal with, and you still enjoy your work, right? So I think these two things needs to be addressed.
Just to add on to that, I actually have very strong feelings and perspective about this, like Sir is saying. And I agree with that. I think one thing is that the whole cancel culture, right? Or maybe this, the whole, the ease with which we can say things to people right now, because they are in form of either it's on Twitter or somewhere else, or I think we've become very uninhibited in terms of our emotional expression. So we don't understand where the other person, before understanding where the other person is coming from, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. We are always giving very emotional reactions. I think I am not okay with that kind of culture, because I think it is eating into our empathy, right? Like as human, if I'm talking to Simble, you're talking to me, I need to understand where you're coming from. Your point of view might be 360 different from mine, but if I don't understand your point of view, then I'm just giving an emotional reaction. No, I don't think it works. And I think the way we are also bashing people these days, right? Even in rooms, if you see the like the difference between a good agency or a good client and a not so good client is that when people give you constructive feedback, you want to work on it because you understand it, right? Everybody is rational, creative, irrational होता है, but वो rational भी होता है. Everybody wants to become better, right? If you tell them what is wrong, what is not working, it's a good feedback. But if you just give emotional reactions or no reactions at all, कि अच्छा नहीं है, rework कर लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो, and or just like, oh my God, how could you bring this to me? You should have seen this. These are all emotional reactions. They don't have any place in professionalism. But I think people need to be told how to talk, right? Or how to give feedback, how to talk in a room. Because I think a lot of ऐसे emotion इधर से flow हो रहे हैं ना, उधर से वो unprofessional बना देता है, and it just fills everybody with bitterness. It's then just people's defenses are high and it's actually not benefiting anybody, right? And I think people need to be taught how to construct things, how to build things. कि अच्छा कुछ कच्चा पक्का कोई लेके आया, you don't diss it, you build on it, or you tell them how to do it better. So I think एक तो वो, and plus at a cultural level also ये जो cancel culture and very very strong opinion without knowing, without being completely informed, I think that is wrong. I think that should not happen because it just makes way for uninformed opinion जिसका जरूरत नहीं है. I think creative agency after a point works on personal fuel, right? Like sir was saying कि एक personal drive होती है, एक personal enjoyment होता है, like Rahul was also saying. तो एक अंदर से एक ना खुशी मिलती है करके, क्योंकि वो जब भी कुछ निकलता है, then you feel the amount of satisfaction you feel of what you've created, it cannot be matched, right? So for that, keeping to protect that fire na, I agree कि long days कभी कभी overnight होता है, and there is a lot of fun in that. There is camaraderie, you're doing things together. But I think कहीं ना कहीं sometimes it starts, if there is no guideline or there's no boundary set na, it can also become exploitative, right? Like the weekend culture, I do not subscribe to that at all. I don't think अगर आपने organize कर लिया है काम, somebody needs to do it. And like sir was saying, it is the prerogative of the higher management. कभी कभी होता है, and we all get it, everybody understands. But अगर आपने if you've made it okay to work on weekends, then they will be work on weekends. You can't ask them to give you, मतलब you have to inspire people to work, right? They have to see it as fun. अगर आप रोज 12 घंटे काम कराओगे तो वो बंदा वो लाश होगा on weekend. वो 3 दिन मिलेंगे, but 2 days you'll be sleeping, and that is what happens to us. Now we sleep on Saturdays, and एक Sunday afternoon आप जगते हो, अच्छा चलो कुछ देख लेते, show देख लेते, and that is what your life is. So I think you can't drain people like that. मतलब everybody needs that time, and plus I think and young लोगों में ठीक है, मतलब you're chilling, you still, but when you have a family, when you have you're married, you have responsibility, आपका 10 काम है, मतलब वो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं I think 4 days working is a great thing, because हमारे I think burnout Indian market में ही burnout बहुत है across industries. So I think 4 days is an excellent rule for India, but 12 hours is not justified in my opinion. मतलब in no way can you ask a person to मतलब as a rule work for 12 hours. वो करना चाहता है तो we all will work, which we do, right? So yeah, so that's kind of my opinion. Yeah.
मैं तो बस यही बोलना चाहूंगा कि एजेंसीज और क्लाइंट साइड को फ्रीलांसर्स को थोड़ा और काम देना चाहिए. हमारा भी घर चलता रहे.
Brand plug.
And I love client servicing.
Yes, that's a beautiful ending line, and I think the crux of all. And I thank you so much, guys, for doing this. I think we put forward different opinions, which was the idea of this, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it. There are different ways. The whole idea was that is there a right way to achieve or to be a hustler, so to speak? And we've sort of explored different ways to do that, and there's a gray lines very clearly, and there's no right or wrong way of doing it. And thank you so much for putting forward your opinions.
One last thing, I just want to promote my small agency in Haldwani. If any of the clients watching, client servicing, media people, if you need anything done in Kumaon area, Anupam Solutions is your one-stop shop.